Hi, I'm Adam Dorn.
Also known as motion worker.
Thank you. I'm Adam Dorn, and I'm here to talk about bass. A good bass line can be achieved like this. Or like this. For some of the time, a good old-fashioned synth bass line will do the trick, but most of the time you're going to need a real bass. But unless you're like me, one of the top 2 bass players on earth, you probably don't own a bass or an amp or know how to play a bass. So here's the deal. You don't need a bass, you don't need an amp, you don't need finger skills. All you need is this. The Reason Electric Bass ReFill.
The Reason Electric Bass ReFill puts 8 different hyper-sampled bass guitars into your Reason rack. Organic, responsive, and tailor-made for keyboard play, this refill perfectly translates the bass fretboard to the MIDI keyboard.
So essentially, you get real bass guitars in Reason without real bass guitars. An electric bass guitar sound is made up of a number of factors. The choice of strings, the playing style, and of course, the bass itself. So if you're picky like me, you're going to want to own more than just 1 or 2 electric basses.
That's why the Reason Electric Bass Refill features not 1, but 8 different electric bass guitars, each with its own unique sound and character.
Loads of basses, loads of beauties, like this one, a 1969 Gibson Les Paul. This is a classic.
Nice one.
Sorry.
Amateur.
As you already know, this bass right here is represented inside the Reason Electric Bass Refill. Let's have a look. This is the Les Paul bass in Reason form. You have your EQ curve right here, compression amount right here, and you even have a nice little picture of the bass over here on the right. Let's have a listen. Yep, sounds like a Gibson to me. But there's a big difference between something that simply sounds good and something I can actually feel when I play it. A bass.
Exactly. More than just a library of sampled bass notes, the Reason Electric Bass Refill is a full-fledged instrument. An instrument designed to be every bit as dynamic and playable as a real live bass guitar.
You know, he's right. Let me play a simple bass line. All right, pretty cool. Now let me play that on the keyboard. Sounds right, sounds good actually, but it's not quite right. You see, the funk and all the cool stuff that comes from a bass comes from the fret noise, you know, the glisses, stuff like that.
The combination of dedicated expression control keys and sampled ghost notes, quirks, and noises brings instant life to your bass lines. The Gibson you just heard represents just one of many bass guitars and bass rig combinations. In order to do the featured instruments justice and to give users the widest possible variety of bass sounds, each bass was recorded through multiple preamps, bass amps, and cabinets using carefully selected bass-friendly Class A microphones.
Now I have access to all of these bass rigs, basses, and fancy mics all inside of Reason. It's just like as if I owned all of this gear in real life. Here's a typical bass preset patch. Bass guitar model, amp, and mic blend. It also says picked here, meaning that it was played with one of these. Playing with a pick makes a distinct sound with a pronounced attack. Playing with your fingers is just funkier and rounder. As I said earlier, you don't have to be a skilled bass player like me to enjoy this product. Because, I can do some stuff that will break your mind. Oh, man. Oh, yeah.
Bass guitars featured, are presented in the form of preset patches.
This preset here, which is a Fender Precision finger sound, is great from the start. But if you want to tweak it for your production, you can. Each preset comes with its own set of panel controls for adjusting the sound. What I mean by that is this Fender preset lets me change the amount of compression and the EQ, and I can go, for the EQ for example, I can go from flat to really rich and bassy. Here are the mixer channels for the separate mics. Now this is the DI signal, and this is the Coles mic on an Ampeg amp. Now let's compare it to the sound of direct signal coming through the Avalon preamp. See?
Every bass and its various signal chain options have been meticulously hypersampled for this refill. This gives you multiple signal paths in Reason and multiple ways of tweaking your bass sounds to suit your production.
And then there are the style patches, which are basically presets made for any genre of music, like this one. You know, for another style or track, I might want to use this one. Pretty cool. Then there is the bass effects library, which is kind of like having the world's mightiest stompbox collection, only better, because you have it all inside of Reason at your mercy. Having access to all of these great instruments when making a track is of course great, but the biggest bonus comes when you want to mix. Think about it, you get to change the amp, you can even change the instrument, the effects, the routing, everything's there and always accessible, so if you don't like how something sounds, you can always change it when you need to. So there you have it, more bass guitars, amps, mics, and possibilities than you can shake a pick at. I'm Adam Dorn, top-rate entertainer, genius bass player, philanthropist, and I'm heading off now to help others. But before I do, let's sum it all up. Bye.
Lay down your bass line. Select a new bass sound at any time. Give life to your bass line. Sculpt your bass sound. Make use of the stomp boxes. Nice. Sculpt your performance. The Reason Electric Bass Refill. Believable bass in Reason, without the need for expensive equipment or bass players such as Adam Dorn.